introduce Joni Thomas, who is a very familiar face to many fans of the Ritz players. Thank you so much for helping us with this behind-the-scenes video and the interviews, Joni. We appreciate it.
It's good to be here.
So, tell me, how many years have you been involved with putting on the Ritz?
I've been involved for 8 years, ever since we first started.
All right. Now, you've been a performer on stage, but you serve a very important behind-the-scenes function too, and that is as a seamstress and designer. Tell us about that.
Well, the first year that I saw it in the paper, I just came to be a designer or a seamstress for the show, but they handed me a paper to fill out, so I did, and then I got called on stage, so I tried out and made it into the show.
All right, great. So you didn't realize you were going to end up doing double duty, did you?
No.
Tell me some about where you get. I know you're a very creative person, and you can take a little bit and make a lot out of it. I've seen examples
I love
of that.
doing that kind of stuff.
Where do you get some of your inspiration for the costumes that you create?
Well, the first years, Miss Bobby was with us before she moved away. She created everything. It was all in her head, and she just said, here's some fabric, measure these people, and this is what I want it to be like. So we just took it from there. And then after she moved away, Nancy took over that part, and we just get together, her and I and Amy and maybe some other people, and we just sit down and talk about it, what the show's going to be about, and go from there. And I get to be creative and make things.
And have fun.
Yeah.
Lots of sequins and
lots of sequins and glitter and glue and thread and yarn and every tassels.
just go to town with it.
Yeah, just go to town with it.
All right. Do you have any just favorite costume or like group of costumes that you've created over
There's
the
been a
years?
lot of them that I like. I like the year we did The Wizard of Oz because that's one of my favorite movies, and that was fun making Munchkin costumes, and I also got to be a Munchkin that year, and making the Muppet costumes, that was fun because those were one of a kind because you only had to make one of each character, and I got to make all the Muppet costumes.
Great.
And that was a lot of fun.
Great. And they looked so wonderful on stage.
And
all
you
the
can't
bright
buy a
colors.
Muppet pattern.
That's right. That's
Just have
right.
to create it.
Well, they look great, and I
Thank
know
you.
the audience loved that. That was one of my favorite moments. Now, you've not only created them, and you mentioned that you got to be a Muppet, you have been in a variety of guises yourself over the years, including Sir Elton John at one point. Do you have a favorite persona that you've taken on?
Well, I like being Elton John, and he wasn't even supposed to be in the show that year. We had somebody drop out like a week and a half before the show started, and their character was supposed to perform with the Muppets that year, and we couldn't replace that person's character. So Nancy says, well, I'm going to have Elton John in the show with the Muppets. She says, but I don't know who we're going to have. So we were in the costume department. We were trying to find something for Miss Piggy's costume, and I picked up a pair of big sunglasses and put them on, and I was singing one of Elton John's songs, and she said, you're going to be Elton John, and I was, no, I'm not. And before we left, she had the fabric, she had me some platform boots, she had a wig, and she said, you're going to be Elton John. So I had to go home and learn Crocodile Rock.
That's great. You never know what putting on a pair of sunglasses is going to cause to happen in your life, do you?
I've also been Loretta Lynn.
That's right.
And I have been Minnie Pearl. That was the same year as Elton John, so I had to be Minnie Pearl. I was also a hee-haw clogger, and I had to be Minnie Pearl and open up the hee-haw section. I had to run downstairs and put on my clogging outfit really fast, and then run back upstairs with my tap shoes on, and that was hard. And then to get in my spot was hard. And then one night when I was up there, I realized I had left off my red bloomers, but the show goes on.
Oh, gosh. It does. You just never know with a live show what's going to transpire, do you? Absolutely. Of all these different shows that you've been in and different songs you performed and characters you've been in, do you have a favorite moment or from any particular show that you've been in, or is it really hard to pick out?
My favorite character that I played was Mama Odie in the when we did Disney that year, and I got to play a 180-year-old black blind voodoo witch doctor, and I got to make my costume too.
And that was a typecasting by the way.
It wasn't. That was a lot of fun being her. And some of my favorite costumes have been the Muppet costumes and the Lion King. I love doing the Lion King. and making those costumes, the animal costumes. And even though I made some of them, just seeing them coming down the aisle, it took my breath away. I really enjoyed The Lion King.
That probably gave you a real sense
It
of
did.
pride and
It did.
accomplishment, didn't it?
Well, you know, I made those costumes.
Yeah, and I know that that was a big audience favorite. As Nancy mentioned, people of all ages love Disney. You know,
That was
you
really fun
both
year.
young and those of
Yes.
us who are young at heart.
Everybody loved everything we did that year.
And it's just great to go back and relive
Yeah.
some of those memories, isn't it? Well, listen, thank you so much for talking with us. So we appreciate
for
it,
having
and
me.
for both your performances on stage and all the work you do behind the scenes, making everybody look great and fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angie.
Right.